Hey there, welcome back to Right Up Our Alley. If you do not know, my name is Rachel and I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 kiddos. And today we are talking about looping in homeschool. And it's so fitting because I am so loopy this week, spacey, crazy, dazed. Oh my goodness. The week before school starts for us, I am always frazzled and always an insane person. Please tell me I am not the only one. I need to feel good about myself right now. And right now I feel like I'm insane. It is absolutely fitting, of course, to then be talking about loops right now. And I feel like it's definitely the time to talk, considering I have talked about it in multiple of my videos in the last few weeks. I really want to make sure you guys sort of understand the concept of what I'm talking about when I talk about a loop. Yes, honey. Okay, you can do that. Go ahead, baby. I love you. I am going to tell you what a loop is, how you kind of organize one, and what ours looks like specifically. A loop is a set order of subjects that you just repeat multiple times, ever ending until the school year ends. And it looks different for everyone. It can be any subject that you want it to be. It can be super specific or really broad, like history and science. Or you can dive down and do something like STEAM. Or you can do really specific art. However you want to organize your specific loop is really just whatever you want to cover with your kids. That's all it depends on. The whole reason why I really just love the looping concept is because it allows a lot of flexibility. So when I first started homeschooling, I did this like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll do math. Tuesday, Thursday, we'll do language kind of idea. And then it was like, well, maybe I'll flip every other week and then do language Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And it got so confusing. And then also I wanted to put in other subjects in there eventually. And so I said, well, I'll do history on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And oh my gosh, because what would happen is that, let's say on a Tuesday, we ended up going on a play date. Well, then it got all messed up and I was like, well, do I do history and science on Wednesday? Or do I skip it and then just not get to that part and move it? Oh my gosh, it was just too confusing. So when I got introduced to the looping concept, it was genius to me because you don't have to say, oh, well, let's just not do it or skip it. You just say, no, we're going just to history now. And then we don't have to worry about the fact that science is on Wednesday because we don't have a set day that we're doing something. So that is why I love looping, in that it doesn't have a day corresponding to a certain subject or anything like that. And it allows for us to just go somewhere if we want to and not have to worry about not covering a specific subject. Our first loop is just our unit study loop, is what I like to call it. It's our first one of the day. And it is just a 1-to-1 ratio of our history to our science. And all we do is we do science one day, history the next day, and so on. And if we hit a day that goes to the next week and we end up doing something, then we just keep that order. Nothing changes, which is great. For our second loop, we are going to be covering the subjects of geography, art, and music. And geography specifically this year is U.S. geography. And our loop is going to look a little bit different than our first one, simply because it is not going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm not going to cover geography the same as art and music. Because there are 50 states, I want to make sure we cover all of them. So I wanted to make sure we did more geography than we did art and music. So therefore, I decided to do the order of geography, art, geography, music. So that way, within a 4-day period, we are covering geography twice. That is the general idea. So you want to look at how many subjects you want to cover. As you can see, my whiteboard is up and I cannot be more excited. I've never had a specific whiteboard in my schoolroom before, so it's like super exciting to have one. Anyway, I thought it would be fitting to show this example actually on a board because I thought it would take me back to my college lecturing days. So we're just gonna give it a go. Anyway, let's say you want to do a loop of 4 different subjects. So for example, I want to do poetry, music, art, and then let's say you want to do coding. And I say that because my kids like that. So there we go. So let's say you want to rotate these 4 because you don't want to cover them. You don't have time to cover them every single day. There's just not time to do all of these things. So looping is great for being able to do that. You want to look at these 4 and then say, do I maybe want to cover one more than another? Say your daughter really loves art, or maybe your son really loves music. So it kind of depends on you, what you want to cover, and your kids and what they like. So let's just say, for example, my daughter really loves art. So I want to do art more than any of these. So we're going to do 2 times art above all of these. Well, then you take these and you say, okay, I want them in this order. I want to do music first, art second, coding third, and then maybe we'll go back to art, and then we'll go to poetry. Okay? And so you would end up doing them in this order. Once you've completed all 5, then you rotate it again. And you just keep cycling through until your school year ends. And that's really what a loop is. Also, one thing to note is that you can complete as much or as little as you want of each of these subjects. So let's say you have an allotted hour time, like we do. Sometimes you might complete art and music in both of that hours and then move on to your next subject the next day. However, maybe you spent a ton of time on music and really loved it and you still have a little bit left of that lesson. Well, then you just move it to the next day and then, of course, overlap into that next subject of your loop. I thought you might be wondering how we organize our loops, and it really just looks like this for us. So a lot of people use baskets. For us, I don't really have much of a place for a basket, so we just kind of repurposed this area that used to be for workbooks. And now on the left side is our states, and on the right side here is our music, and art is all online. Just to give you a quick glimpse as to what is over on our organizer for the United States geography lessons, we have our flashcards, of course, our America's 50 States book that's hardback, and it's a board book style, so it's really thick and nice for the youngest one to look at. We also have just general reading books for my son, and then that one as well goes along with that same hardback book. And then we have a workbook that we got from Target that will just be for whoever is interested. I might copy the pages for my oldest and my middle daughter because it's really just tracing and writing and then doing a few activities. So I'm sure she'd be down with that. So I'll probably end up doing that. And then, so every lesson we start off with reading a book on that specific state. So this will be also something that we read because this is poetry from each state, which I thought was really cool. It's talking about the islands of Boston Harbor here and the New England Lighthouse and so on. So it gives some really great poetry from all around the country. As I mentioned before, we will definitely be doing Drawing the U.S. here. And this is how we will go about picking the order of our state. So we will start with Vermont and New Hampshire and go on from there as the book lays out. As we go along, we will be reading a ton of material online, in hand, on books, and so on. Some really great, awesome books that we have here. This looked really cool, the National Geographic Road Trip. I got it on a deal a few weeks ago. And then there's this one that I got for $1 at just a bookstore or something. I don't even remember what it was. And it just, of course, gives information about the states. And then this one also does the same thing, just gives information about each state. So basically any books that have that kind of information we'll be reading, maybe watching some videos, that kind of thing, what I feel that the kids might be interested in. And then of course we've got this one which breaks down each state as well. And it just talks about a lot of information about each state. And it also gives some recipes in here for some really cool things to do as well. So it's also hands-on. And then you guys have seen these before and the little scrunch maps. Well, this is a United States scrunch map. So I thought that was really cool. One-handed is difficult here. So it's really just a scrunchable map. and it's of the United States, and it's really cool because, you know, they're really durable, and it doesn't matter really what happens to them. You know, water has gotten on these, and it just wipes off really easily, so that's really cool. For the music section of our organizer over there, we have the Usborne music book here, and it really goes through all the different types of music, and then really goes into also kind of reading music and notes and things like that. So it's a really cool overall book. We will be doing and learning a few Christmas carols this year on the piano. So we will be doing that as well as singing, so that way the kids know that. And these two are for my youngest, and that they really do some really cool things, because we're going to be learning about orchestra and all the different instruments. Love me a French horn. So yeah, we're going to learn all about the different musical instruments this year, as well as beats, rhythm, and notes. That's kind of our goal for this year. And this is also an Usborne music type thing, and they learn the different songs like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and they just play along with it. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found something useful in it. And if you do decide to do a loop schedule, please comment down below that you're doing so. And also, if you are starting newly and need some help on how to form your loop, please also comment down below and I will surely help you. If you liked this video, always give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe if you have not done so already. We've got a lot more videos this coming year, and I am so excited to be sharing our 6th year of homeschooling with you guys. Bye now.